welcome to a Gypsy's Kiss. It's Friday Fenndango, and I'm the magical treasure princess, Shelley Carney.
And I'm Toby Younis. Thanks for joining us tonight. We have some emails to read. We got to talk about prizes for next Wednesday. I'm going to show you the endoscope. And then we got some texts and voicemails, and we'll take some calls tonight. All right? Stick with us. We're going to have fun tonight. Welcome to our Dia de los Muertos show.
Yeah.
It is Dia de los Muertos.
It is.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So we got kind of a good show tonight.
Kind of.
Well, no. It's a
We have
really
an
good
excellent show.
I think so.
Because I'm here.
No, it's not. It is the classic Toby shirt, but I was on the run all day today, and it's a dirty shirt. I got
On
it dirty,
the run.
So. I've been on the run since 7 o'clock this morning, starting with a funeral.
Sand is in the mail from PEI.
Oh, great, PEI. Thank you. Did you take the picture? Was that my door?
Yes.
Oh, it's the boys. Cover for me. Hey, boys. Hey,
All right.
Did your mom send some food?
So, Toby's got his grandsons coming over for the weekend, and they'll be here all weekend, having a good time. In the other room, I ghost. But hey, at least he's home from the doctors. You know, I had to do my show by myself today, along with our audience. We had K-Pro was there, and Jimmy Fast was there, and let's see who else was there. Hooli and Mike Healy was there. I know there was one more that I'm forgetting. Davio was there. So appreciate you guys being there for me when Toby was off at the doctor's, and hanging in with me through all my mistakes. And we talked about dieting and how dieting and losing weight is a mental game.
So yeah, I had an early start because I attended a funeral. I was a pallbearer at a funeral for the mother of a friend. And who had become a friend over the years. Her name was Jean Bridgers, and she was an amazing woman that led an amazing life, and I wanted to be there for her. So it was a busy day. It's been a busy day all day today. But of course, without further ado,
Housekeeping, you want towels?
Do you want towels?
I always want towels.
I would like some towels.
Clean ones.
Remember, es muy importante for you to like this video. It's just as important for you to dislike it because YouTube treats it all the same. Make sure you give us a thumbs up before the night is out because we think you're going to like this show. Share it with your family, your friends, your business associates, your neighbors, and the entirety of your social networks so that we can
grow the channel.
Because that's what we want to do. We want to keep growing this channel. And then lastly, if you're not already a subscriber, this would be the ideal time to subscribe and ring that notifications bell. And that way, when we launch a live stream or we schedule a live stream, you will be immediately informed. And
In the know.
finally, of course, if you'd like to contribute to what we like to refer to as our little project here, down at the bottom of your screen, there's a stylized but grayed out $sign. You can click on that $sign and negotiate some kind of contribution with YouTube, and they'll help you walk right through it. All you have to do is click on that $sign. The rest is just as easy as eating a piece of pie, peach pie, with a scoop of pure vanilla ice cream on top of it. So that's how easy it is. I do want to take this opportunity to mention a couple of things.
Unless you're
Please, if you
lactose
haven't
intolerant.
already, subscribe to our new channel, The Sand Project. We've got sand already coming in. We've got a show for our first show planned for next Wednesday at 3 p.m. We'll be doing a live stream, and we'll be sharing with you under the microscope the sand that our friend William Hada sent us from a beach in his near his home in Waterford, Connecticut. So we'll be talking about that, and we're going to be talking more about the Sand Project. There's a comment I want to read because there's a gentleman that posted a comment that said my statistics regarding the composition of concrete when it comes to sand and aggregate, et cetera, was off slightly. So I've asked him to give me a reference. I'll take the data that he gave me, but I asked him to give me a reference so that I can accurately portray the relationship between sand, concrete, and construction. I don't think it changes the problem much. Significant. I think it's just to make sure he's trying to make sure that when I present the data, it's presented correctly and accurately. Remember, our giveaway for next Wednesday is one of the gold Yellowstone commemorative coins, and along with this unused Yellowstone National Park map of $15 value. And if you want to participate in the drawing for those two pieces of Yellowstone Park memorabilia. I don't know if they're really memorabilia or not. All you have to do is go to last Wednesday's show, the show that was produced on
The day before Halloween.
the day before this. So that would have been the 30th, October 30th, and make a comment below that. And we'll use next Wednesday, we'll use commentpicker.com to select one of those comments, and we'll mail this out to you. For those that I promised this week, the winners, the Who's Your Sisters who won the coffee, she did email me and told me to whom I should send the coffee, and I will put that in the mail tomorrow because it's the first free day I've had this week. And then Sassy, I will also put the teddy bear for your grandson in the mail tomorrow as well. And they'll go USPS Express, so you guys should have them by Tuesday or Wednesday or so, real quick. All right, that's the front end of the shoe. What?
Emails?
Emails. Let's do emails. And we got pictures. We got a lot of pictures to share tonight.
Yeah. You got the email video?
I got the email video. I do have an email video. Look at that. That's a nice little tune off YouTube.
Yeah.
Very upbeat, you know.
They have a lot of choices on them.
You want to go first?
Alrighty.
I got to do a screenshot, don't I?
This is from LR.
Screenshot.
Yellowstone Pics. Hello, Shelley and Toby. Thought you might enjoy these pics from Yellowstone National Park, the current home of the Forrest Fenn Treasure. Pics taken on 20th October 2019. I hope and pray all is well. Feel free to share these on the show. Goodbye, LR.
Okay, some pics from LR.
Bunch of buffaloes. We didn't see
buff.
no buffaloes when we were there.
No. Well, these are
Or
recent. Look at
bison.
this must be recent because he's in the snow.
You said 20th of October,
Okay, so I'm going to have to go back and do each one separately. It looks like it's not.
about 10 days ago,
Wow, that's a pretty sight, huh?
12 days ago.
Very nice. Yep, that's snow. I don't think that's a lot of snow for that area, but they're definitely,
Well,
it's definitely winter.
my stepdad says when we were watching a little special on PBS about Yellowstone, and he was telling me that he had spent a little bit of time in Yellowstone, and he'd lived in Alaska, and Yellowstone was colder.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he
Oh.
said it was way colder.
Well, because Alaska, you're dealing with the currents, right?
Well,
So you got the
I don't know.
Pacific
He
currents
just
coming up
said,
through.
I can't believe it's that much colder with all that thermal activity, but he said it was.
Yeah. Soda Butte Creek, that's a couple of salute theories there. A religious symbol? That might be, does that look like a
Bible,
church?
and
Looks like a
could be.
church.
It's
Candles,
got a Bible and a candle and
Bibles,
a
pictures.
cross.
Very
so-
nice. More bison. Wow, that is one humpback bison there, huh?
Yes. Yes, it is.
And that's a nice view. Very nice.
LR.
LR, thank you for sharing those photos with us. They're really good looking. Really good looking. Hang on, let me close these up right there. All right.
And that's the next one.
Oh, that is? You want to read it? Oh, that's
Kiwis
from
Road.
from Kiwis Road. He's got a longer name than that. Kiwis Road, who's traveled the rest of his life on the ocean, something like that.
It says, what do you think? Keep it simple, silly. The books, the poem, and a map. If I follow the contentment of an individual, it leads me to start at Madison Junction. Firehole and Oho is just a location of warm water, and it flows into the Madison. So if you start where warm waters halt, Madison Junction, and don't worry about other people when you stand there with Forrest in your own reverie. It may be too obvious, and that's okay. This is just my thought. Be kind in your action and don't judge others on theirs. And then he posted a YouTube
Blaze
video.
Creek. Yeah, we can't play the YouTube video. But I will put the link. So just hand me that so I don't forget. I'll put the link to the YouTube video in the description box below. See what he's got to say. Be kind in your action and don't judge on others on theirs. So Arrowhead, he sees an Arrowhead. HLWH. Creek, Nye, Meek. Homer Brown right there.
Heavy
far, but too
loads
far.
and water high. I
Canyon,
guess.
right? Oh, okay. There you go. Heavy loads of water high. Oh, interesting. Oh,
Not my
Yellowstone.
blaze.
Well, so we were right around that area. We were right. We were
Indeed.
doing some exploration right in there, but not anymore, because apparently it's the journalist's paradise. Okay,
Okay.
back to full screen.
Hoosiers?
Oh, okay. So this is from the Hoosier Sisters, and they say, "Hello, Toby and Shelley. Funny how you began the World Sand Project, and Forrest releases scrapbook 223 and mentions the Great Sand Dunes National Park." Yeah, but I think I've got a feeling he wrote these things a long time ago, and Dale just happens to be posting them this week. But it is funny there. So he did that. I felt like he did that when we did the
A coinky dink.
a coinky dink. Remember when we showed pictures of the Joseph Henry Sharp
Cabin.
cabin, and the next day he releases that one. I never mentioned this before, but I think you were the reason for his gut feeling when you were searching the Cimarron Canyon and the lignite deposits, because when you left the Cimarron, his gut feeling left too. Just my thoughts. Cindy.
It's all about the treasure
It's
princess.
all about the. So they're the Hoosier Sisters are the ones that won the coffee. So we'll send that out to them this weekend. Thank you for the one. And if I was as confident as you were about Fenn's gut feeling, I'd be out looking in the Cimarron again. But well, you know.
We looked in the Cimarron.
Yeah, we did.
Didn't know where else to look.
Yeah, we ran out of
Kind of
places.
like Cynthia. She couldn't figure out anywhere else to look. She left New Mexico. TTOTC by Aaron Fraser. How clever of Forrest Fenn to come up with such an ingenious plan. He hides the treasure chest in a place he can drive straight to, check on it, but in order to make out it's hidden in a secret location, he created a strategic orienteering treasure chase to make it more of a challenge. I understand why. Well, he's not just going to make it easy and simply give $2 million away. Forrest Fenn's father, see the Forrest Fenn video, Forrest Fenn in Yellowstone, in 1931 hid belongings near West Yellowstone when Forrest Fenn was quite young. Over threats being, excuse me, I'm not sure if that's threats.
Over threats being told
See, there's
the
no
story.
R, so I'm not even sure if
Oh,
that's the right word.
over when he was quite young, I don't know.
Anyway,
You're as good as me.
over the being told this story, it is my belief that Forrest Fenn returned to hide his treasure chest in that very same spot. And I believe I have the GPS coordinates of that West Yellowstone location. Forrest Fenn's treasure chest is made of brass. Brass turns a blue-green patina color when exposed to the weather for long periods of time, and that's what I have the GPS coordinates on.
So, a couple of things, although that shouldn't affect your GPS coordinates. Fenn's treasure box is made of bronze, which is an alloy that's different from brass. Brass is copper and zinc, and is not as durable as bronze. Bronze is 90 to 95% copper, and then other alloys, including manganese and a couple of other things. It has a longer. They do both form a patina, but in the case, the less copper there is, the less copper there is, the bluer the patina. So the chest itself, the bronze chest itself, may have a patina on it, but I don't think it'll be blue green. I think it'll be towards the light green side of the algorithm. But if you have your GPS, send us a picture and we'll share that with the world so somebody can help you get to it, because you're in where? Is he in Australia?
Oh, I don't know. I think he sent us another one, though.
Oh, okay.
So
we'll go back to it. Let's do, so Luli Bell sent us a bunch of pictures. Why don't you go ahead and read that? I'm going to do this one
All
first,
right.
and then we'll
Trip
do
to West Yellowstone and areas from Luli Bell. Hi, Toby. Here are the pictures. Thanks, friend. Madison, number 1, Madison inside the
hold
park.
on. Let me get the screenshot. Okay, go.
Number 1, Madison inside the park.
Yep, that's what it looks like. That looks like the Madison,
You can
doesn't
see snow. Number 2, Baker's Hole, a little snow.
So I'm going to have to do the same thing here. Baker's Hole. That doesn't look like Baker's Hole. Hang on.
It should look like this. No, that is right.
No, we saw Baker's Hole. That doesn't look like it.
Well, unless you started at the end. No, it's got
no.
to be it.
Baker's. Oh, no, it's... well, maybe we're just looking at it from the other side. Okay, we'll go with it.
Okay, number 3, Fenn's Cabins.
Fenn's Cabins. Oh, cool. We didn't see those.
Number 4, the Yellowstone Train, the Oregon Short Line. Looks like inside the train.
Oh, wow. What a beautiful card that is. Dang.
And number 5, Lower Geyser Basin. It
Yeah,
was peaceful,
definitely.
very few people. Probably because all the stores are closed now.
Yeah. Yeah, we were there, and a good portion of China was there at the same time.
We got Kaching from 3D Bronze.
Hey, 3D Bronze,
It says,
3D Bronze.
Did somebody say bronze?
We did. 3D Bronze at 3dbronze.com. He makes iconic imagery from the box. He's the one that made the pendant. I could show you one, but we don't
Class.
actually have one from the treasure chest. And he's doing some other things. I haven't been there in a couple of weeks, so if you do get a chance, go to see the kind of work that he's doing. It's all kind of Forrest Fenn Treasure related. That's 3dbronze.com.
Okay. This one has got a lot of back and forth going on. I wasn't quite sure what you had already looked at and read. And
Oh, okay. So this is P. Lee, right?
I think the last one is there.
Okay, let me get back. Well, I do want to show that one picture. Does Luli have another picture for the... because she did send us that picture with the bear.
Oh, that's right. The bear.
The bear.
Tracks.
Look at that. So
There
that's...
just weren't any words.
That's a
with the email. It was
human
just the
track.
picture.
Looks like a human track. And then that's a bear track. And that little thing right there, that's where the claws hit the ground. But look at the size of that.
Yep.
So you're walking along, you look down
Isn't
at the
that interesting
snow.
that they put all their feet one right in front of the other?
Kind of like a runway model. Grizzly bears walk like runway models.
Interesting. Little swing that little.
Yeah, a little
hiney
swing that
around.
hiney. Swing that hiney behind him. Okay, so this one is from P. Lee. So she kept sending emails let's see. So we need to get the last one.
This
I
is the
said
last
25
one.
show. Just got that straightened out. So, Toby, would you know how I could get a good map showing where the Native American reservation lines are and also the ancient lands and graveyards? So that's a couple of different maps. Number one, the graveyards are going to be in any map that, say, National Forest map, because they mark the graveyards with a little crucifix and they mention cemetery. They don't call them graveyards; they call them cemeteries. The tribal maps, you can actually let me give you a bunch of options here. Option number one is I will post a link to this map. And this map is, let me see if I can pop it up here. Okay, so this map is the New Mexico Fishing Waters map. But in addition to the fishing waters, you can see all the green areas are national forests and all the orange areas are tribal lands. So that if you want that, I can send you that map. The best way to do it, so there is no map to the best of my knowledge. You'd have to buy a book someplace, maybe at like Petroglyphs. To the best of my knowledge, there's no maps that indicates all the ancient pueblos. There are 21 ancient pueblos in New Mexico. And I think the only book that I've ever seen to contain a map of all 21 was the book entitled The Puebloans, and they sell that at the Petroglyphs National Monument. But most of them are along the Rio Grande and south of Santa Fe. There are very few ancient pueblos on the Rio Grande north of Santa Fe. The other way that you can do it is you can call the BLM office. Oh, I'm not even showing the screen. Dadgummit. Hang on. Okay. Screenshot. So that's the New Mexico Fishing Waters map. The orange areas are tribal lands. That's the Navajo, Jicarilla, Taos Pueblo. These are the sands, all the Saint Pueblos between Albuquerque and Santa Fe. So that will show it to you. The ideal place to go is to BLM Santa Fe. So just do a search on BLM Santa Fe. And you'll get the BLM office's website, but you'll get the New Mexico version of it in Santa Fe, and you can call that number, right? New Mexico State Office in Santa Fe, call 505-954-2000, ask for Steve in the store, tell him which maps you want, and he will put them in an envelope and send them to you for in exchange for giving you information about your credit card. And what you want is the New Mexico State, the BLM surface properties map. I think it's something like that. It's about a 4x4 map, and it breaks New Mexico down into specific quadrants, but it breaks it down into BLM land, state forest land, national forest land, wild areas, Native American, and all that white stuff that's private property. But if you call them, they have a map that does it. They also have an 8-foot by 8-foot version of that map. You don't need an 8-foot by 8-foot version. Then once you get that map, you can determine which areas you're going to be in, and you can call them back and order the quadrant, because New Mexico has, I think, 256 different quadrants. They're not all in northern New Mexico, but then you have to be more specific about the quadrant you're in to get the 100,000 to 1 map, which is the largest they produce, or the most resolved that they produce. Okay, so you can do that. But I noticed down here there was a little note. Let me see if I can find it. Spotlight. Right here. So look at this. I thought this was danged interesting. I didn't do it yet. But BLM has entered into a relationship with the New Mexico Hunting Game and Fish Department, and they've produced digital maps of all the hunting areas in New Mexico. So the reason that's important is because the state of New Mexico uses the BLM surface boundaries map, that's what it's called, surface boundaries map, to put the hunting maps on top of, and you can download them for free. There's a set of instructions down here on how to download the software, and it runs on smartphones and Windows, and then it shows you how to download the free maps. So you can actually put those free maps as produced by the state of New Mexico in cooperation with the Bureau of Land Management, and that will give you all the information you need at least about New Mexico. Now, I didn't explore this with any of the other Rocky Mountain states, but it certainly works for New Mexico. I downloaded the software, but I didn't get to the point before I got sleepy that let me see if this is the larger version. Yeah. So this is the miniature version of it, and they've blown this up into, they've blown that map up into smaller, sections that you can put on your iPhone, and those are going to be free. So that's probably a pretty good, if anybody follows up on that, I haven't decided to do that because I'm not going to be searching until next spring anyway. But if anybody decides to do that, let me know so we can pass it on to the folks how it works. Okay?
P. Lee says, I'll have to study all that tomorrow. A lot of info.
Yeah, it is. All at once,
You've
yeah.
given me a lot to
You
think
give me a
about.
lot to think about. Shelley teases me because I used to do sales training. And one of the things that I would teach salespeople is that if you've spent an hour with a prospective client, we were talking about deals that sold in the millions of dollars ranges, software, hardware deals that sold in the millions of dollars ranges. And I said, if you spend an hour with a client and at the end of at the end of the meeting, he or she says to you, let's set something up without a specific date because you've given me a lot to think about. That means you've talked too much. So yeah, I probably talk too much, but it's my show. Okay, go.
Well, let's see. These are both from Aaron Fraser, and I think they're the same thing here. So, yeah.
So
I
he's
think
got
we
some,
already looked at it.
Did
or
we?
did we? Oh, no. Forrest Fenn clues. Look what I spotted recently. Look at the S and O in the word personal. Now look at the drawing.
Okay, hold on. Is it that one? Yeah.
I think so. Maybe. Yeah, book signing JPEG. Yeah.
Look at the S and the O.
And the word personal.
Yeah, right there. Whoops, hang on. Screenshot. So he's talking about this S and that O in
Yeah.
personal. Mm-hmm. Isn't this the book
Now
that
look
somebody...
at the drawing.
Now look at the drawing. Let me see. Where was it? Okay, I need to get rid of some of these thumbnails here.
Yeah. The ones we've already looked at.
Okay, now look at the drawing. So that's the drawing. That's the drawing from the book, from the giveaway book the two X's. Remember, what's his point?
Forrest Fenn drawings and signings are clues. This drawing indicates jet is taking off, and there are two props on the ground, and the two X's are indicating which direction to go next. This drawing is a location found not far from Yellowstone Airport, West Yellowstone. We all know that brass turns blue-green patina when exposed to the weather for too long. Well, not far from this drawing location, I have located another location that shows a box shape that very color. I have even got the GPS coordinates of that location. And no, I cannot go get it because I live in South Oz and don't have the money to make such a trip.
Well, Aaron, send me your email. Didn't we do this already with Aaron? Send me your email, and I'll post it, or I'll let people know that if they're interested in going to look for this treasure for you, you guys can work out some sort of split. Okay. You go ahead. I'm going to go back to I'll do the full screen thing there.
Alrighty.
I like
This
your voice
is
better than I like mine.
World Famous Gamer says, "Hey Toby, what kind of content does Nightline pay for? Any ideas? Thanks for your time."
Nightline pays for any kind of content that's going to make them money. That's what it boils down to, because they have to convince their advertisers of it. Now, most of their content is not purchased. Most of their content is based on their various journalistic investigations. But if you have a story that they can fit into the context that they've had in the past, so they've interviewed Fenn more than once. So if you come up and you let them know that you've discovered the treasure, they may want a piece of that, and then you can negotiate whether or not they have to pay you for it. So that was just one of the options. But they are not in the habit of just buying stories. That they don't normally work that way. They might, let's say you were Stormy Daniels, and they wanted your story. They might pay you to go on TV and tell your story. If you're the Magical Treasure Princess and you find the treasure, they might pay you to come and tell your story. Or if you're the Magical Treasure Princess and you don't want to talk about the treasure, but you want to share the theory that became a solution that helped you to find it, they might pay you for that. But they are not necessarily in the habit. They've got literally hundreds of journalists and producers out scouring the world for stories that can fit on Nightline and any of their television program. That's how they work.
You ready for the next one?
I am.
All right, this is Occam's Blade. Hi, I know you guys are live now. I think he sent this on Wednesday. I was just curious to know if you have any idea why in Forrest's childhood stories that Skippy was nowhere to be seen. Could this be a clue? Thanks, Pete.
I don't know that I agree with you. It depends what you mean nowhere to be seen. He did mention, so after all, it was a Forrest's memoir. It wasn't a memoir. It was his memoir about him and in the context of the things around him. So he talks about his mother. He talks about his father a great deal. He does talk about Skippy throughout the book.
We did what chapter last night? Chapter 7, me in the middle, and he mentioned Skippy in there.
Yeah, and June. But what's even more interesting to me is that he mentions his mother and June far less than he does his father and Skippy by a noticeable amount. So, but I don't think any of those are clues. That's my opinion. I don't know. I would know how to draw the line of that particular logic from Skippy is missing to getting me closer to the treasure.
And this is from Brian Hicks. What is the single biggest mistake novice searchers make in interpreting the poem?
That they understand it completely and they know where the treasure is. Because every novice searcher does that, right?
Yeah.
Single biggest mistake is that they read the poem once, something pops into their brain, or they read the poem, look at a map, something pops into the brain, and they realize that they know where the treasure is, and then they go out and look for it. And of course, that's there's nothing that
after they tell everybody in the world they know where the treasure is.
Yeah, and I know that because I did exactly that. We showed it last night in our member vault. I showed them the page on which I had made notes, decided which were the 9 clues, which I think were, and then showed them how that led me to the Rio Chama, my first solution. You've seen the pictures. So yeah, I think the first mistake is that you get it, and then you try to implement that, and it can be very discouraging. But at the same time, it's very informing, right? You realize, oh my God, this is a much bigger problem than I had the capacity to imagine. I'll just have to go back to Florida.
Okay. That was all our emails. So should we say hello to our people in the room?
I'll do the same thing. You go to the top, I'll go to the bottom and see if there's any questions.
Play our video.
I got to keep a mail. What are we doing? What are we saying?
Play the hello chat room video.
I got sunshine.
Let's see. I can go back to 7-Eleven.
That's far better than I can.
Okay. So we have K-Pro, Tony Russi, Captain Marvel, Michael Hool, Boxhound, Corey Jacobs, Because I Can, Hooley, Bring Your Own Towels, Mr. T, welcome.
Wayne Ross says, did you know that on November 10th, 1978, the Continental Divide Trail became the 3rd trail added to our national trail system, which means on Sunday, November 10th, the Continental Divide Trail turns 41. Wayne, I did not know that until just now.
Yay.
What's that old relationship with Johnny Carson? And you go, I did not know that.
Ed McMahon.
Ed McMahon. I did not know that.
Nemo.
Mimo.
Nemo.
Oh, Nemo.
Finding Nemo.
I was thinking
Britt
about that
Chaser's
camera
here
that we bought.
again. Britt,
Hey, Britt, look
you're
at
up
you.
late a lot this week.
Yeah, party time with the Brit.
Yeah. Paul Wood from, well, that's Paul Wood. That's from local. That's a local guy.
Brit's asking, somebody put me out of my misery. Is there a hint in the cloves or the table scratch from Once Upon a While? Is it Once Upon a While where he plays with the
The spices?
spices? Yeah.
I don't remember. I
Yeah.
think so. Sunny7, Bobbert, cool necklace, Shelley. Thank you. This is one of the ones Toby gave me. Let's see. K-Pro, A Gypsy's Kiss. Do you think it was funny? SB223 referenced sand.
Yeah, you saw that letter that we read for the
Winky dinky.
We didn't think of it until they mentioned it. Yeah, we thought it was pretty funny. But as I said, I have a strong sense that based on some of the comments that have been he's made recently and Dale's made, is that these a lot of these scrapbooks were in a file folder someplace that were intended for perhaps a fourth memoir, and at some point he decided not to do that. So I feel, this is my opinion, I have no evidence one way or the other, but I feel like he gave that entire folder, digital folder of course, over to Dale and said, publish them at your own leisure. And so they could have been written as far back as months ago, maybe even years ago, and Dale's just putting them out there once a day because it's about the traffic, baby. It's all about the traffic.
We have Brian Eagle, Vicky McMillan, Bill Cross from Texas, Tony Rusi, AJ Rainville, long way to Tipperary. Couple coming up to 5. 5 hints, 5 apparitions. Couple's 2.
He said 2. 2 hints and a couple of aberrations around the edges. A couple of hints and a couple of aberrations around the edges.
Davio's here.
Because if you're in a marriage and you're a married couple, there are not 5 people in that marriage.
Fish Grinder. Let's see, we have Heidi H. Hey, Toby, have you set up your sand project channel yet? Sending you sand from Newport Beach, California.
Yay! Okay, so I promised everybody. Let me go over there for just a bit, just so you guys can see what's going on. And I'm starting a blog tomorrow too, this weekend. Oh, that's the wrong place.
You were going to have all kinds of time this weekend, and now you have no time.
It's gone, I tell you.
Spent the whole day running around today,
Yeah.
and tomorrow you got stuff going on, and
Yep.
grandkids here all weekend.
Yep. What did YouTube do with just YouTube, you punks?
Be careful, they'll take us down. We have Heidi H. with sand.
Okay, let me get that story straight. Okay. Let me see if we show up in search yet. Hang on.
Blue Fox. Kiwis Rode My Life Story.
That's the same.
Grizzly
That's our
Bear.
guy.
Okay. Grizzly Bear. Does anyone know what happened to Susie Fenhaven?
Ask K-Pro. K-Pro always knows. She just communicated with her, right? Okay, so I'm going to get over. So damn, I have 9 subscribers. So here's the World Sand Project. We don't have any content up, but tomorrow the first piece of content will go up, and that's an explanation of if you're going out to collect sand, just how to do it. Small plastic bag, small spoon, put in the bag, put in an envelope, ship to me, and then take a picture, 1 or more pictures of the area in which you collected the sand, preferably with your cell phone, and then send those to me, and then you will be on the show sooner or later because we'll take your bottle of sand and your pictures and share them on the show, and then all of that information, including the show, will go on the blog. But here's the World Sand Project. I'm going to post.
There is playlists if you actually click on playlists.
If you want to get any sense of what the heck I'm
playlists.
talking about with all this, play this playlist right here. It's called The World Shortage of Sand. And I've got them in chronological order, beginning with the most recently published. Take a look at the first couple or 3.
We talked about this the last couple of nights in our VIP membership because one of our members is a geologist. So
Yeah. So he has.
a
He's
lot of
just.
knowledge.
He's just waiting for me to make a mistake.
no,
He's going to pounce. Okay, so I'm going to post the link to the World Sand Project in the chat room, and I'd appreciate it if you'd become a subscriber, and you'll see the first bit of content this week. And our first show will be a live stream on. Oh, that's not right.
Wednesday at 3. See, we have Start Exploring. We have LR, Lead Searcher. Forrest might be stalking Toby.
There's a thought, huh? As opposed to me stalking him.
Alternate Reality. Dev JB.
Okay. So
CMC.
there's the link to the World Sound Project. Go click that link and become a subscriber. So we can
Grow.
the channel and watch us next week at 3:00.
Glenna Friedman.
She hasn't been around for a while, huh? Has she?
She said she's running late, so she's
Okay.
probably working hard somewhere.
Good evening, Greg Keller. By the way, I want to say thank you to our moderators, Greg Keller, Holly, K Pro. I don't see Sassy. Is Sassy in the room? ES, who's
Haven't
always
seen
behind the scenes, and Toby Fat 3000 for moderating the room. We really appreciate that, the effort they put into it.
That's right.
By the way, I did get I had a question about my obsession with blocking people last show, and I mentioned that I had over the years I'd only had 3 people ask me to reinstate them, and I got another one, and he said I'd like to be your 4th one, and asked me to reinstate him, and I did. So if you're interested, if you're on the
Block list.
blocked list. If you're on the government's, you're not welcome.
No fly zone?
No fly zone. No fly list. Send me an email. Ask me to unblock you. The rules are: we just ask you to be civil, right? Those are the rules. Be civil. That's all we ask. And I'll unblock you. And I had somebody ask me after that last show. I thought it was, so I'm up to 4 now.
Uh-huh.
So
We have Ray Reddington, Britt Chaser, 3 wise men. Who's using fox dressed as a hound? Who's using the wadded map? Wayne Ross.
Oh, Michael Hull did you say? Have you seen Michael?
I
you say hi?
did.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I did. Yepers.
Yepper-rooners.
That's right. Journeyman's here. Just woke up from a nap. Does that mean I'm woke?
Ooh, we got 6 new subscribers in that one little thing.
Hey,
That was nice. Thank you,
very
guys.
nice.
We're going to have fun
Greg
with it.
Keller, one of our mods.
And we're just trying to prepare ourselves for the day when K-Pro announces that she found the treasure and we need to do something else with our programming.
Yeah.
We're
or
just
Britt
we're just-
Chaser or
We're
somebody.
like Boy Scouts. Be prepared, brothers and sisters. Be
Oh,
prepared.
his clock's changed already.
Whose clock's changed?
Britt Chaser.
Oh, so
They're a week ahead of us, I guess, on changing their clocks. We do that this weekend, right? Yeah. Saturday night at 2 a.m. or Sunday morning, 2 a.m.
So do
or
we
whatever.
spring forward, fall back? So we get an extra hour sleep?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I'll go
Yeah.
out that
Kevin
night.
gets an extra hour on his weekend. He's pretty excited.
Yeah. So I always go out that night because they keep the bars open an extra hour.
I don't think you always go out.
I do.
Not
Never.
anymore.
Okay. So.
You don't anymore.
By the way, you know how I was telling you guys I had all these suits and ties. I literally the weekend after I was telling you about them, I packed my truck with, I don't know, it's probably 80% of my suits, 80% of my ties, 80% of my shirts, my dress shirts. Put them in the truck and drove them to the Goodwill. So I'm down to the basic. I've got 2 suits and 2 sports jackets with slacks, and probably I'm down to about 20 ties and, I don't know, 6 pair of shoes, that kind of thing. So I really cleaned out my closet.
You are the man.
From Toby's lips
Wish
to
I was
God's ears, but
Better,
don't think I have.
better at that myself. I need to be better at it.
They were very happy to get all those nice clothes. I told them the problem is the guy has to be 46 short, so. And he said, "Oh, we get a lot of those.
I bet.
It's New Mexico, for God's
Yeah,
sake.
especially, yeah,
All us Chicanos."
that's right. We got Jason Northface.
Kevin Carney's in the room.
Kevin's in the room.
Yay, extra hour, he says.
That's right. Yay, extra hour. The Swami. That I look quickly down. Does that mean south or below you? Good question.
We think, we thought it was important.
Or downstream.
If you look at that part 3 in the Voice of America interview that was posted on Dale's site, if you look at part 3, at about the 5 or 6 minute mark, he says, if you find the last clue, look down because you'll see the treasure. And I mean, he uses that phraseology. It's exactly that phrase. So yeah, we think it's looked down, like, and then Terry scant the hell out of there.
Thor girl, happy November. Yes, it is.
Happy Dia de los Muertos.
Michael Wimmer.
And this weekend we were thinking about spending Dia de los Muertos at Rio de los Pinos.
I just had some.
Okay.
Christopher Robin, you are not banned. I can see you.
Where does he say he's banned?
Says, am I still banned? Apparently not. I see you. We have Jack. Jack also sees you. Oops. Having a drink. Greg Keller's having a drink.
Nice.
Greg, we missed you last night.
Greg Keller.
Vicky McMillan.
Oh, he's got to leave here in another 10 minutes. What are you doing having a drink? You got to go to work in 10 minutes.
Maybe he doesn't work tonight.
Oh, okay. Like Clint Eastwood and Gran Torino.
Shots
I
K9.
can picture Toby at the American Legion. You know what? I am not a member of any of those. I don't.
Andre,
I've just never,
hello,
the
Andre.
VFW, the American. I get their requests to join, and I'm not much of a joiner. I guess.
Jim
is what it boils down
Siri,
to.
I do like turquoise, yes. Sometimes I wear it. Vicky McMillan. You know what kind of turquoise you could send me, Jim? Is that little turquoise bracelet that Forrest left in the box.
In the box, yeah.
That would be nice.
So anyway, I was telling you about this funeral that I went to for Jean Bridgers. She had served in the military. She quit college in 1940 and volunteered to join the military. And she was assigned she joined what had just started the Women's Army Corps, the WAC. And they sent her to Washington, D.C. They trained her in the project that at that time was called Ultra. And it was the project that was decoding the German transmissions using the Enigma machine. And she did that for 5 years. And then they shipped her to China, and she worked for the CIA for another 5 years before she and her husband married. I found out today, I didn't realize this, they were married the same month, January 1949, that I was born. But she has this wonderful story. And I used to go over to the house to have dinner with them. And like a couple of old war horses, I'd sit there and listen as she told her stories. And her daughters, Janet, who's a friend of mine, Janet is the president of Earth Alert, and she's the one that I've done a couple of documentaries with. But Jean used to go through all these stories, and her daughters, the two daughters who are kind of close. Janet's my age, and Lynn is just not much younger. They would just roll their eyes and leave the dinner table and leave me and her to listen to her stories because they had heard them 100 times before. But there was one story that I have to share with you because Janet told it today at the church, and I hadn't thought about it. And she said that one time her mother told me that her husband had received a medal from the Chinese government after World War II for the work that he did helping China get through the war against the Japanese nation. And she said, could I identify it? And I said, well, I don't know. I don't know much about the medals of China, but let me take a look. And so I took the medal, and it was a beautiful medal. It was a cloisonne, Chinese-style medal, and it was big. And I said, well, let me look at it. And I started doing just some research, and about 10 minutes later, I found it. And it was a medal that had been given by the Chinese government during World War II to its heroes, to the heroes of the battle against the Japanese. And it was what I discovered is that there was 3 orders of this, and he had won the first order. And it's the equivalent of our Medal of Honor. They gave him a Medal of Honor for the work that he did for it. But the neatest thing was the name. It was the medal, the Honorable Medal of Swords and Clouds, First Order. And you realized after that, looking at the picture, what they were talking about, because there were swords, clouds, and then there was a dragon wrapped around the outside. And it was a really beautiful medal, but she had this for years and had no idea. And she was always grateful that I did that for her, and made me feel very proud that I could help her. I left kind of finish-like with my chest sticking out that night after helping her that. She was a wonderful woman, and she wrote a book. I got a copy of the book today, and she wrote a book about her story, and she's a beautiful writer. She writes in that kind of early 20th century style. And she tells her story about when she left, her home, joined the military, and spent 10 years serving the United States of America. So, but the other thing that was neat is she got a military funeral, and so they played taps, and they had the flag, and they folded the flag and gave it to her oldest son, and it was just a really stirring ceremony. So that was my day today. That, and did I mention the?
Well, at least it didn't rain or snow.
No, it was beautiful. It was cold. It was supposed to be cold, but I didn't. I took my overcoat.
It wasn't as cold
The
as
suit
yesterday
jacket.
anyway.
Suit jacket was enough. That was my day.
And the day before. Okay, we say Greg Keller says no work tonight, Dad.
Oh. Stop drinking and go to work.
And Kiwi says, so do you think stories in the Thrill of the Chase could fit with that map?
So Kiwi, it doesn't make any difference what I think. The question is, what do you think? Can you make the stories in the book fit with that map enough to get you to that treasure? Because it's irrelevant. I'm the guy that's lost in this whole thing, right? So taking my advice in these matters is putting yourself at risk. If you can make the stories in the Thrill of the Chase, which is what he's telling us to do, read the poem, read the book, use the poem to find the places on a map, and the book can help you get there. So the thing is, if you can make it work, then make it work and go get that treasure. But because it doesn't make any difference what me or anybody else in that room thinks, or anybody else watching this thinks. It makes a difference what you think and how soon you can go get that treasure.
Greg says he was busy with Halloween, but doesn't remember getting the email about last night. I sent it out on Wednesday. But make sure that you remember that we have meetings every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I missed you. But the recording is up in the member vault, so you can see it there.
Yeah, you can get the recording.
And Jim Siri says, I have one. I'll send it to you. So I'm getting some turquoise in the mail from
Wow.
Jim. Well, thank you.
Dang.
I look forward to that. Let's see. Do you see anything else we need to?
No, I've looked through. I did. That's why I shared it. LOL. Yeah, no, Kiwi, I understand that, and I'm saying that the way to do this is not only share it. Are you in a place where you can't go get it? Is that the whole Kiwi thing?
Kiwi? Are you a Kiwi?
Are you a Kiwi? Kiwi?
New Zealand? Is that where they're from?
Yeah, Kiwis in New Zealand.
Okay. Didn't want to insult anybody. So that is the chat room, and I think we're ready to move on to
Text messages?
texts.
Okay. I missed that.
Sand from Michael.
Gypsy Kiss, Toby and Shelley, trip to Australia confirmed now, looking for some clean South Pacific beach sand. Perfect. A little plastic bag, or William went out of his way to find a specimen bottle to do that. But, a couple of teaspoons worth in a plastic bag, and then put that in an envelope along with several photos from your smartphone so it can collect the GPS coordinates. And take as many as you want, because I'll show them all when we do the sand. So the sooner, I'll just do this in the order that we receive these bottles of sand. So next Wednesday, we're going to cover the sand that William sent us along with his one photograph. And William, I don't know if you're watching this right now, but if you have other pictures of that beach from which you collected the sand, send us those pictures. It doesn't have to be one. Send us all the pictures, because we're going to make that part of the cataloging that we're doing, because we want to see if the beaches actually change over time. So that's kind of part of the project. Douglas Carver says Encyclopedia Britannica has water halts.
Where water
halts. That was really funny, because I got an invitation recently. I got an invitation from Encyclopedia Britannica to get access to the digital version of the Encyclopedia Britannica, and I didn't feel Like I was at a place in my life where I would
Maybe you
or
could
use
just
something
tell
like
us
that.
what the answer is.
Yeah. Kevin says hello.
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 Hey, Do.
Hey, no. Or let's go by in Swedish.
So, texts.
Texts. Text. Did we play the music?
Yes.
Okay, texts. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to pick up the phone so I can read it from here. Okay, text messages from 720. Remember, I know it's too late. I should always say this beforehand. But remember, if you're sending us a text, include at least your first name and the state from which you are texting so that we can say something nice about you. The screen is blurry. Can this be fixed? Bob Art. Yes, Bob Art. Put on your glasses because that'll make the screen less blurry.
Is it?
We're not. We're fine. Here, look. That's Bob Art. The screen is blurry. It could be your screen is dirty. If you're talking about our image, I'm looking at our image and it's pretty 1920
Maybe it
by
was
1080.
blurry. Maybe it's cleared up by
I think
now.
so. Yeah, we're pumping out 5173 kbps, so I don't think we're blurries. But hey, Bob Art, hi. So this is from area code 308, and he or she says, just curious, did anyone recover the Forrest Fenn treasure chest yet? Forrest Fenn Treasure. There is no credible evidence that the poem has been solved or that the treasure has been found and or recovered as of this moment in time. But that could change any moment because I know K-Pro's on her way. Let's see. Lost service. Who were we talking to on Wednesday night? Because he says, I apologize for my phone connection. Lost service. Some food for thought. Thanks for taking my call. Okay. Okay. So this is everybody telling me the mistake that I was making with the PDF file. So we fixed all of that.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. Okay. So that's good. I need to delete some of these messages. Okay, so that's all the text messages. Let's go see if there's any voicemails. There is. It's from Davio. Oops. I had to connect here. See what Davio has to say on these matters. I wonder if he's still in Colorado. Is he ever going home? All right.
I thought he had gone home. No?
No. Quizás no. Here we go.
He
Davio.
says, stayed in Denver for 5
Searchers
weeks.
of America, unite. This is Davio 22 out here in the wild, doing lots of research, totally psyched. I have a question for you here, Mr. Tobster. Oh, namaste, Miss Princess Shelley, my princess. Yes, namaste. Now, Toby, if I make a video, will you watch it and then give your opinion about it live on the air, or just on the air in general? Okay, the idea is you don't show the video, but I'm trying to show you something so you'll get a sense of where I'm at, just to kind of see if you're open to that kind of idea. All right, so the idea is I'm going to make a video, probably 5 minutes long, and I'm going to expose my area and my reasoning to you and Shelley. And you watch this without putting it on the air. But if you think it is a big deal, then talk about it on the air. Let's ruffle some feathers. Let's get some controversy going. Let's have a conversation. I'll put this together. I'll get it to you. Are you open to seeing that? That's the big question. Okay, can you dig it? Right on, man. I knew you could. You guys have a happy, lovely week. Dig it? Yeah. Okay. Coolly. Love you all. Everybody. Ciao.
That's it. Oh, Davio, best voicemails ever. Okay, so if you send me a video, as I understand, you're going to send me a video, and I'm going to give you my opinion on the content of the video, but during a live stream. Yeah, I'll do that. If you give me permission, I'll even play the video.
$5 from LR. Thanks for showing my pics of where the treasure lurks.
That's you. Thanks for sending them and sharing them with us, LR. That was very kind of you and very thoughtful. Yeah, Davio, if you send me the video or send me a link to the video, I will watch it. If you give me permission, I will play it on the channel, and then I'll give you my honest opinion on the matter.
Hello to Stacy Harwood and Joe S.
I can't move my.
Cursor. Try the blue.
I do. No kidding.
Oh, could you hear your computer? It's revving.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what's going on?
Yeah, it did it. It did it. It
Okay.
popped.
All right. So let me close
He's the
some of
coolest
these.
cat in town.
Who that? Davia?
Yeah, that's what Hooli says about Davia.
He is the coolest cat in town.
Redneck Express.
Wow. Hang on. Let me see what we're doing. It's only 28%. We're fine. We're fine.
Revving it up.
Revving it up. Just revving it up.
Page unresponsive, it says.
Where does it say? Oh.
You ended it. What'd you do?
I don't
Sri
know.
Lanka.
Well, the only reason I keep this up.
Greetings from tropical Sri Lanka.
Wow. Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka. What's their name? Where is it?
Well, it popped right after I read that, so I don't know where it went. It was in the blue one,
Oh.
and I don't know where it went now.
Okay, so that's Restream.io. The only reason I keep that open is so that I'm not going to play with it. It's making messes.
So I don't know where that was located in the
Sri
chat.
Lanka, would you type something out? Would you write something to us? Because I have a favor to ask you. Sri
I
Lanka.
got MJ Inzer. History.
Sri Lanka. So, and precede your comment with @ space Gypsy space Kiss. Stacy, Toby is telling me to get up there. Maybe I make a trip. Yeah, you should. I'm telling you. I have it. I can feel it in my search
Heart?
spirit. I had a dream about it last night, about you finding the treasure, Cape
Who?
Cod. So,
Okay, bro.
yeah. So I don't know what else to say. I mean, I guess if you believe in the woo woo,
The
there
woo
might be
woo.
something there.
Woo woo.
Okay, so I need to turn off the do not disturb. And is there anything in this open phone lines that's going to kill me?
I hope not. And don't.
Okay, so Michael, I don't know if I finished my comment to you, but wow,
That was
somebody
quick.
done that.
They are on
Dang.
it tonight.
You're on it tonight, huh? Hey, you've reached Toby and Shelley. What's your name and what's your observation on this funny little treasure hunt that we're involved in? Oops. ¿Qué pasó?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello?
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, sorry, it didn't come through. This is William. How's
Hey,
it going?
William. How
I'm
are you
lost
doing?
here.
Nice to hear from you again. So,
Yeah, definitely.
so I can't play. You know that video that you sent me. I can't play that. I can't play it on
yeah.
the show, but I can watch it. And
No worries.
so
Yeah, it's like an hour and something long
yeah.
anyways. So
And
wouldn't-
so I shared the link. Anytime you send us something like that, I can share the link.
Awesome. So, is this kind of open, or can I just bring up something I wanted to discuss?
As long as it has to do with the Forrest Fenn Treasure, sure.
Of course.
We don't. We're not going to do those. I've been meaning to talk to you about my issues with my
Yeah.
ex. No, we can't do that.
Right.
Go, go.
Right.
Go with it.
So, I've been thinking a lot about the last clue when Doug Preston says, the last clue would be where he parked his car at the Denver Museum. And I kind of want to open that up and see what you guys thought. Does that mean, for one, that clue, because he uses the word clue and not hint, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
would that mean that that's contiguous as well, right? So after the ninth clue, whatever that may be, I think it's look quickly down. Does that mean that there is one more clue that helps you find the location? Because the clue would describe a location, and the hint would tell you, help you with the clue. So what do you guys think about that?
So, so I think the challenge with all of that is that there had to be some point at which both Forrest and probably Douglas Preston to a lesser extent. So I got to tell you, I was reading the Audible version of the Codex, and I know did well in the New York Times bestseller fiction list, but I'm having trouble getting through it. It's not quite as intriguing as I thought it might be, but that's I probably don't want to say that in public. But anyway, so I have a feeling that that whole leave it in the Denver Museum or in the library at Northern Arizona University was a conversation that they may have had once that evolved into additional thinking. And then at some point, they both had to realize, Fenn probably more than Preston, because for Preston, it makes a far more interesting story, right? The abandoned car with the last clue at the Denver Museum makes a lot better story than I published it in a book. But I think what happened along the way is that Fenn had to think about that seriously and realize that that could never happen. He could never do that. And the reason he could never do that is because he would have to leave a trail, right? The paper trail behind. And it would mean that his treasure, he and his treasure, and of course that was the point at which he was planning to die with his treasure, right? The plan was, I'm going to die, drive to the museum, take my treasure, get on a bus, I guess, or whatever, and leave the last clue in the car. The question is, all of that was imagined far before there was clues and books and all those other things. That was I think all of that came out of conversations that Fenn was having with this writer, this New York Times best-selling writer of fiction, about how to pull this off. And if you listen to the story, well, what I'll do is I'll wait till I'm close to my death. And I don't know if you've read the Codex. In the Codex, I'll try not to give too much of it away, but basically there's an empty house in Santa Fe. All the treasures in the house in Santa Fe are gone. And this old man has invited his sons to come to the house, and there he explains in a letter that he's taken all the valuables and hidden it someplace, and they have to find it in order for them to benefit from leaving them his wealth, right? So and then what they do from that point forward in the book is they follow the paper trail their father left behind. That's how they get to where the treasure is, and if I remember correctly, it's the Honduras. But they follow a paper trail to get there. There's no mystery. There's no clues. There's no poem. There's no translation. So I have a sense these were conversations that that Fenn and Douglas Preston were having that made it sound like it was a fictional novel, adventure novel. And then at some point, Fenn realized he couldn't do it that way because it would leave the wide paper trail. And so I have never included that line of thinking in any of my search theories. I just felt like it was something that popped up. They talked about it. It always seems to fascinate Preston more than it does Fenn, right? It's Preston that talks more about that theory than Fenn ever did. And I think the reason is, to Preston, that has that fictional adventure.
Better selling.
It would be better selling than what Fenn has done. I mean, he's written a book. It has nothing to do with treasure hunting. It has to do with his life. And then he says the clues are in the poem. Well, that would never make a Preston book. If you do read the Codex, you'd realize that would be a 12-page book. I wrote a book, put the poem, the clues are in the poem, go get it, right? The other one is far more adventurous and interesting and fits in line with the way I imagine, based on the one book that I've read thus far, what Preston would have liked to have happened, because that makes for a good story, right? Empty car, Denver Museum, final note, disappeared rich person, the valuables out of the vault. Where is he? Who's going to go look for him? And I think that makes a far better story. But I think at some point, like I said, I'm getting repetitive now. This is the third time I've said that. I think at some point Fenn had to look at that and say, I can't do that. It leaves the paper trail that if you read the Codex, in the Codex, you see that the way the three sons who don't particularly like each other just follow the paper trail.
Right.
I mean, I'm probably a third of the way through the book, and they're already in the country where the treasure is located, just based on following the paper trail.
Mm-hmm.
So, my opinion.
And so because the question I've always had is, if it's not important, it seems weird that Forrest would still let it have even been made public, right? Made into public knowledge. But I just can't.
I would challenge you in a good way to go find out who actually made those public. And I think in both cases, and Forrest is not going to control Douglas Preston. Right? They're too good of friends. It would be like me saying to Shelley, "Don't ever tell what color underwear I actually wear." If she couldn't, right? She wouldn't do that. She might do that. She wouldn't know what to do. No, that's a really bad example. Okay, so but I'm sure, and I remember Douglas writing the preface for Once Upon a While. We were at Collected Works. Go back and look at that video. And Preston says something like, "Oh, and there are additional hints in Once Upon a While." Fenn rolls his eyes, and I think it's the eye roll of a tolerant friend. Like, oh, why do I even deal with this guy? You deal with this guy because he's a New York Times best-selling author. That's why you deal with him.
And wasn't there something about the proceeds of that book going somewhere else than like The Thrill of the Chase and Too Far to Walk?
Yeah. So the way it goes is the proceeds from The Thrill of the Chase go to Collected Works, except for that percentage goes to the Cancer Fund. Too Far to Walk goes to the grandchildren. Proceeds go to the grandchildren, and Once Upon a While go to his. Those two people, Susan and Lou, that helped him publish his other books. That's where the proceeds are going.
Okay, I got you. So, seems like there might be a different motive there. Then who knows?
For them, I think he just wanted to give. They did a lot of work for him, and I think he just wanted to have them, get some benefit out of it. He doesn't need the money.
Cool. Well, that's all I wanted to ask you guys. Just your opinion on that. If we actually think it's a clue versus hint and that kind of thing. It's one of those.
I take him at his word. Clues are in the poem. Hints are in the book.
Right, and that's another thing I was thinking about too. And I just want to run it real quick by you guys.
Okay.
If the hints are scattered throughout the book, and they're I've always thought every location that's named in the book cannot be a clue, right? Wouldn't that be
clues are in the poem? There are no clues in the book except for the clues that are in the poem.
So, like, if he names the Madison River in The Thrill of the Chase, it seems to me that could not possibly be a clue.
Well, we know it's not a clue.
Maybe
we know it's not a clue, right? Because it's not in the poem, so it might be a hint. But the question is, and I'll give you my most recent frustrating example of this, and that was, I go up to Montana, I get an idea outside of north and west of West Yellowstone. Sounds like pretty good to me. Got some things to support it, and then he sends a journalist there, and I know that story was written back in June or July. So why would I go look in a place where he's telling a journalist to go and commiserate with nature? Commune with nature. Right. So I think to some sense I wouldn't look at Madison Junction, for example, or I wouldn't look at
it's
Fishing.
Almost like whatever he's not mentioning.
Yeah, I wouldn't look at Fishing Bridge. I can't imagine that he'd go through all the trouble of enciphering those clues that he put in the poem and then give you the translation, the deciphering in the book. I just don't see that. That seems you're going to spend 15 years writing a poem. And then you're going to write a book that gives you it all the way, So I just don't think he would do that. My opinion, there are a lot of people that think otherwise.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for taking my call and discussing that. Hopefully the room enjoyed.
Yeah. No, I like your calls. You keep calling. We have good conversations.
All right, man. Well, you guys have a good one.
Thank you. You too. Take care, will you?
So did you see the guy that was from Sri Lanka?
Sri Lanka?
Yeah. Did you see him?
No, I didn't.
Oh. Carletos Fenndango. The
LR.
Dutchman from the east.
Oh, he has his own YouTube channel. Carletos Fenn, yeah, he has his own YouTube channel on the Fenn Treasure. Yeah. He's the one that used to do those very intricate slide presentations, very dense text slide presentations with his opinions on it. So the reason I wanted to mention it, Carletos, that if you screenshot, brother and sisters, hang on. Hold on, I need to. It's PEI. All right, Carletos, I'll get back to you in just a sec. Hey, you've reached Toby and Shelley on a Gypsy's Kiss. What's your name?
Hello?
I know who this is. Hey,
Yeah, this is Doug Carver.
hey, Doug, did you get me some sand?
Pardon?
Did you get me some sand?
I can't hear you. Just a second.
Okay.
Let me turn
All
up
right.
my
No,
phone.
no. It's me. I got to turn it up on this side. I just don't want to blow the room out.
Okay, let me try that. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. No, I wasn't hearing you. My volume was too low.
Oh, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
No, yeah, everything's perfect.
Okay.
Oh, to answer the thing, I found stuff in Britannica, which would be old school, like a Fenn thing
Yeah.
type of book research. And the definition, when I was down by the beach collecting the sand, I remembered that that's a shoreline.
Mm-hmm.
And in Britannica, the shorelines means where water halts, but it also means for all the tributaries, the riverbanks is where water halts.
Oh.
Otherwise, it's a spillover.
Oh, so there's actually a name for it, you're saying?
Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
yeah. That's where water halts, is the riverbanks and stream banks, or a pond or a lake is the shoreline, is where water halts. Otherwise, it's a spillover.
Wow. So,
And that's right out of, like similar to like looking it up in the dictionary.
how does that help you with your solution?
Well, because then there's another synonym for warm water
Oh.
is the short little part, like say it only gave like a beach example
Uh-huh.
of where the small little bit of water that, kind of, gets heated up by the shoreline is warm water.
Oh, I see.
And the halt is the shore.
And this all struck you while you were going out looking for sand for the World Sand Project?
Yes.
Wow.
And I looked it up, and it fits perfectly for like creek banks and other things where the water halts because it can't go past the bank; it only can go downstream.
Right. So does that help you with your treasure theory?
It absolutely does, because then it fits in for put in. The put ins is another spot where water halts.
Nice. Well, good.
And put in.
I'm glad.
Just one more point, and then I'll stop, and
Okay.
you can ask whatever you want.
Okay.
Put in is also similar to aloha. It depends on which direction you move. It's either you're coming in through the water or coming out to land.
And it's like,
And that's it.
Did you say it's like aloha, the Hawaiian?
Yeah. It depends on which way of travel that you're traveling. If you're traveling to put into the water, it means put into the water for a launch. But if you're coming ashore, the put in is to land.
Interesting. All right. Well, let's see. Let me think about it for a couple of days, and let me see what I can put together, and I'll come back at you with some questions. How's that?
Yeah, okay. And the last point, I sent an email or like a voice message or a text message about the Continental Divide. The Continental Divide, Forrest Fenn brought that up on August 30th, 2011, when someone mentioned about it was buried in the hills, and he said, no, I said the mountains, and the mountains run from Santa Fe north to Alaska.
In 2000.
On
2000.
August 30th, 2011.
So I don't.
On a news story from Channel 7 that picked up the first story.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's enough talking for me. Any questions? Or otherwise, I'm going to say goodbye now.
Okay, wait. I just need to tell you something. You asked me about where to send the sand.
Oh, it's already sent.
Oh, okay. And did you take some pictures, some digital pictures with your phone?
Yeah, it's on a thumb drive inside that with a letter.
Wow, look at you. All right, well.
It's an old thumb drive. It only holds less than a gigabyte, only half a gigabyte of information.
That's
no worries about ever giving that back to me.
Okay.
It's too old.
All right. Well, I look forward to receiving that, and I will let you know. Like I said, I'm going to make a video this week on what to do, and I will let you know when we do that show with your sand and your
One more thing about the sand.
Okay, what?
I think one of the bags that were like a Ziploc bag opened up. So don't dump the envelope. You might end up with a dust full of sand.
That's all right. I've got plans to. I've got to figure out how to transfer it into our specimen bottles.
Yeah, I think one of the bags opened up when I was sealing the envelope up.
No worries. It'll be fine, I'm sure.
Okay.
So if you don't mind me asking you, how much was the postage from where you are?
Oh, it was only a few dollars. Okay. And I found old paid Visa card that had some funds on it.
Yeah, you just
and I just used it.
Well, good. I'm glad we could.
So it was basically like free money that you find in the couch.
Yeah, very nice. Well, I look forward to receiving it, and thank you very much for going through the trouble for doing that for us for our new project.
Oh no, not a problem. I don't want to spoil anyone's solve. So the answers and information I'm going to give you, everyone, is not going to spoil anyone's solve. It's just information.
No, well, our position on the matter is the more people share information, the more chance it is somebody's going to find the treasure. Right. But
I don't want to spoil anyone's particular solve by saying location, state, or whatever.
Yeah.
My information is strictly information about the poem, period.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate the effort that you go through.
Yeah. Anyways, I've been researching since 2011, so some of this stuff didn't exist on computers.
Right. All right,
anyways,
sir.
Have a good evening, and I'm going to enjoy watching the rest of the show.
Thank you for calling.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. So I wanted to tell you guys I did get that endoscope that I told you about. It was $18, and what's neat about it is this is actually a wireless transmitter. So this is the endoscope itself, that thing right there. A small camera. It's got 6 lights, LED lights on the front of it. But we were talking to one of the members of our member vault last night, and she said the only bad thing about it is this has a range. The visual range is 6 to 8 centimeters. So that's not very much. That's a couple of inches. So I'm going to have to test it out. Hey, you reached Toby and Shelley. What's your name and what's your question, if you have one, or I guess your observation?
Hey, it's Kiwi's Road.
Who is it?
How you guys doing?
Who is it again?
Kiwi's Road.
Oh, hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I was just calling because I was listening to everybody, and everybody's chatting, and everybody's trying to not share their theories, and they're sharing the theories. It's everybody's perspective.
That's really.
And
I think that's the perspective you have to have. I think you have to consider just like how much can you share, and how much is it all worth to you, et cetera, et cetera. But our position on the matter is the more we share, the more likely it is somebody's going to find it, and we're okay with that.
And so that's why I've been making my videos and calling, and it's just to get that bigger perspective. I'm trying to search not for the treasure, but Fenn's horse's childhood.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I'm searching for that childhood is because, like I sent you on that with that map, it's just if you're reading the book and you're just reading the lines out of it, you can match the stories up with the lines in the poem. And if you don't mind, I'm going to read a few sentences here for you so that you can follow along on why I went with the junction as the end of the warm waters halting.
So do I need to open that picture up again?
Yeah, you can if you want. Yeah,
okay, hang on,
because I know what it looks like. It's in my head.
Where is my mailbox?
To go along with you saying that you won't go back to that spot where that fool's gold. Forrest already gave you that story. He already gave you that story, and I'm going to read it, and it'll play in, and you'll hear it.
Okay, go ahead.
The reveries are too many to be counted, but each one occupies a far corner of my mind, waiting for another time. I love those things when they do that. So he's getting in that emotional connection, and he's very content with that. And so for me, the word reverence is important. And it goes on with sometimes when Kelly curls her long blonde hair through her fingers in the sunlight, I am reminded of those long water grasses gently weaving and twisting in the river. Winters are cold. For those without such memories, surely God underestimated his ability when he created the fire hole. So to me, he's having such that contentment that you can marry that story to that personal connection I think that Forrest had. And it just goes on to, at the beginning of Fly Water, when he says, June, July, and August in Yellowstone seemed to pass so fast when I was a kid, but I often wondered if maybe summer somehow missed the turn there. When the days started to yellow with falling leaves and the mallards began flying south again, I always knew tough times for me were just ahead. And visions of crashing, but he gets down there and he says, cutting into the best times of my life, over the years, so many bits and pieces had to be left behind. And here comes that spot.
Okay, so hang on a second. I can't. So we've gone beyond fair use. I can't let you read it.
Yeah, I'm taking. So I gave you where warm waters halted for me. Where if I was in the Forrest's spot, this is where I would be because I have such a remembrance of that place.
Well, and
now to speed you up, you can go through all that with the stories, but this next part is for you on why you're discounting that fool's gold for that editor. It don't matter. He already shared that story with us in Flywater right here.
Right. And I
Cutting
do.
into the best times of my life.
Yeah.
Over the years, so many bits and pieces had to be left behind, and a few mind-expanding experiences would remain unknown. On the Madison River.
So Kiwi.
So
Kiwi.
Without a paddle, I think.
Okay. So I have read that and I have considered it. And as a matter of fact, part of the solution that I was working on, what bothered me about it, and did you listen to the call that took place before you came in?
Yeah.
Where so what William was saying is, why would Fenn go through all the trouble of writing the poem, going through 15, and then share all of the solution in his memoir? That didn't make sense, right? And I think that's what we have to. That's what we have to resolve.
If you look at the definition of secret, Forrest, and I'll read this to you, and it answers, I think, that question. So now at last, at least for me, I know, and if no one should ever think of me when I have passed this veil, it will be of no consequence, for I have finally found my way, and I'm at peace with all of it. And that's my will for me. Okay. And so in order for somebody else to follow you, you have to leave something behind. And this is Forrest leaving something behind for somebody else to maybe pick up just that emotional and personal and spiritual connection, just marrying it all together.
Yeah.
Everybody's perspective into one big picture so that you can see this man's life and where he's been, especially his childhood for me.
Yeah.
To follow him along that map. So And that
So it sounds to me.
arrowhead,
So
that's
let me
somebody
let me
else.
get a word in edgewise here. So it sounds to me like you have a really good theory. It sounds to me like you have a lot of support for your theory in the book, and you published that theory. You gave it to us to publish on the screen here. The question is, what are you going to do with that?
What am I? What?
What are you going to do with your theory?
Oh, I've already got boosted. I got to go back next year, but I'm like, family vacation. When we plan it out,
Yeah.
we'll do a week over there in Madison. So
Yeah.
2020, like I said.
And are you looking, if you don't mind me asking, are you looking inside Yellowstone National Park or outside?
Now, see, that's probably why Terry Scant's there.
Oh no,
I'm just saying.
That's a real simple question. Are you looking inside Yellowstone National Park or outside?
Looking both,
Oh, okay. All right.
because why not?
Yeah, why not?
Because there's people that have looked in Yellowstone, people that have looked in Yellowstone National. So he's been in both.
Yeah.
And it all depends on how I follow the poem on, whether he's describing action or he's giving you action.
Right.
That's why I'm saying both, because Homer Brown is also for me, that action, and then description of action comes after that. So,
Well,
it
it
no
sounds
paddle
like
up your creek is when he's out there underneath that tree.
Yeah.
Writing a letter. To me, that's his.
So it sounds to
But
me
just mirroring it all together, mirroring everybody's perspective of things.
right.
So,
So it sounds to me like you have a real good sense of what you're going to do next year, and we look forward to hearing from you once you go out there and implement that theory.
I missed that last part. You were like muffled.
Oh, I said it sounds like you have a good theory, have a good plan, and we look forward to hearing from you at the beginning of next year when you go to implement that theory.
Not a problem.
All right?
It will be shared.
All right, sir. Thanks for calling us tonight.
All right,
we really
thanks.
appreciate it. And keep the information coming. We'll share with the community whatever you want us to share.
And I'd like to see if anybody's got more fishing stories that Fenn has told, especially of his, Yellowstone family vacation.
Yeah, outside of
That's what I'm
the
looking
thrill
for,
of the chase. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because it all adds, how emotional he gets when he tells those stories.
Right.
I think is part of that reverie and
Yeah.
connection that leads me to follow him along the Madison River, down the canyon.
Very
But
nice.
yeah, if people could share some stories, fishing stories of this childhood, it'd be greatly appreciated.
All right.
I love perspective.
Well, let's see if
That's
we can
just
get
my
let's see if we can get them to do that. All right. Let me take this other call. They've called a couple of times.
Not a problem.
All right, sir.
Everybody be safe.
Thanks, Kiwi. Hola.
Hello.
Hi there. Hey, Brad.
Hey, Toby.
Can you
Prince
hear us?
Toby and Princess Shelley.
Hello.
Evil. That's evil, Prince Toby. Apparently.
What's
So,
up?
how are you guys doing today?
Very good, thank you. How are things in Pagosa Spring? How's the weather up there? Did you get some more snow?
It is friggin' cold.
Yeah, it has been cold, hasn't it?
It got down to 3 below. Last night it was 3 below here at the house.
Yeah.
And tonight it's not as cold, but it's still cold.
So, how did the beautiful Sarah do in her progressive flow costume?
She did good. She was
Yeah.
supposed to send you an email today.
With a
I don't
picture?
know if she did or
I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Tell her to send a picture
Yeah.
so
She
we can
was
share with
supposed to.
everybody. So everybody who's listening right now, if you have a picture from you dressed up in your Halloween costume last night, send it and we'll share it with everybody next Wednesday. That's what they did. So it was funny for us because we did the member vault last night, but the kids were coming to the door the entire night. So I had to keep jumping up and down. And there was a point at which I realized they were coming through for a second pass, like, wait a minute, weren't you here just 10 minutes ago, for God's sakes?
And then we ran out of everything.
Yeah, and then we ran out of everything.
After about an hour, we ran out.
Yeah.
You should have put some broccoli out there before they slowed them down a little.
That's right.
Broccoli, yeah.
So
Well,
I just wanted to call. It just hit me tonight.
Yeah.
After Fennbury, during Fennbury, there was the search for the searcher coin.
Right.
The little search that you put the poem out, and Silver Fox found the searcher coin.
Roger that. Yeah.
Sarah and I soon after found where that was at, and we left a monetary secondary prize there, but have not heard if anybody has searched for that.
You know,
or if
go ahead.
They found it.
Yeah.
So what we were thinking is, if we haven't had any bites on the bait by next spring, we were going to take a trip down there and increase the secondary prize, but it would take a little help from you to reintroduce the poem that you had to find the treasure, maybe a link for that treasure again, and I can get back with you once we've increased that, if nobody's found it since then, to make that prize a little bit more valuable, so to speak, if you're up to it.
Well, we are absolutely up to it. Let's do this when you're, next spring, when you're headed back in this direction, down in this direction. Let's get together. We'll meet you up in Santa Fe, and we'll put some stuff together, including some something of financial interest, and we'll put a big prize package together and put it back in the same location, because it was a pretty good location. I mean, it's a great place to hide a treasure. Now, the only difficulty is that there is one person who knows exactly where it is, because they found it once already. So
we'll have to exclude him.
So maybe we'll put it. We'll maybe put it in a slightly different location this time. But yeah, we still have the poem, and we can still describe where it is. So I think we ought to do that. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
And what was interesting about that little search in the rain was watching Rick McDonald and Jason Dent search in some of the same places we were at, picking up rocks, looking in crevices. It kind of gives you a second perspective of how this thrill of the chase works. How people can be within 500 feet or 200 feet
and not find the treasure.
Find it.
Yeah,
and
that
walk
was
right by it.
I think that's why we were the writing of the poem part of this was so important to us, because we wanted to give people a sense that, if it once you see the clues, they make sense. You can they make sense to you and what they say in the poem, and then you still have to search through nooks and crannies, and I think you're right. I think it gives everybody a sense of, but I think it'll be fun. Maybe we can even pick a different location, do a different poem. Shelley had a great time writing that poem.
I think that would be awesome.
That would be, yeah. All right, we'll take you up on that offer, and like I said, when you find yourself planning that and doing it that direction, we'll join you. We'll have cocktails someplace up in dinner and cocktails someplace up in Santa Fe, and then we'll go hide that treasure.
That sounds awesome.
And we'll add to it. We'll bring some stuff and some funds, and we'll add to it, make it a nice little package. I think I even have an old treasure chest
that idea.
someplace that we can put in. So.
Shelley, tell Kevin hi.
All righty.
We'll talk to you soon.
We look forward to it. Give Sarah a hug for us.
Will do.
All right. Good night, Brad.
Bye-bye.
Brad and Sarah Kinzer from Pagosa Springs, Colorado. So, okay, here's what's cool about this endoscope. So it comes in several pieces, but the cool
Jay
thing...
Rainville wants to know more about this necklace.
It's the necklace is made from dichroic glass, and it's the kind of glass that you can you purchase the glass in different colors, different shapes, and there are some that have that dichroic background in it, and then you fuse them. It's glass fusion, and you used to have to do it in a kiln overnight because of the heat, but now what they devised is there's a porcelain cup thing, top cup pot. And you can put the glass in there and put it in your microwave. That's how I made the ones for Shelley and my daughters. You just put the porcelain thing in the microwave and it does it in about 3 minutes. Takes a lot of practice to get it right, but it makes beautiful jewelry.
But he bought it at the
That one I
rail
bought.
yards
Yeah,
market.
that particular one. As a matter of fact, this was the one I bought, and I got really interested in the art form. Craft, I guess. It's not really an art.
Yeah, this was the first one, I think.
That was the first one. I got really interested in it, and so I learned how to do it. And then that year, I gave all the women in my life. No, I guess all the men too.
Yeah.
I gave
and then
all the
Toby
women
made
in my
these.
life jewelry made with dichroic glass, including earrings and pendants.
Toby
And
made those.
so those are some of the ones that I made. I got really good at it, but you don't need a kiln. You just need one of these. They're like a ceramic pot, I guess, and you just do it in your microwave, and it works beautifully. So yeah,
And Jim Siri is going to send me bracelets.
it's good to say he did.
what
Is
he
that what he
said.
said? Okay, good. Wow. Okay, so here is that endoscope. I got the 1 meter long one. This is the control for the light right here on that spot. But here's what's interesting. So you get this little device here. What's interesting about this is it's a battery and a wireless communication port. So you plug the light, so that's the charging side. So that's why you charge the battery. Then you plug the light into this side, right? And this, as soon as you turn it on, so there's a little button, you turn it on, see? It's got a little tiny flashlight on this side. If you want to do close, you can turn it down and it turns blinking. That turns the camera and LED lights on. Let me see if I can turn them up bright. You can make them that bright. And then they give you download an app to your smartphone, and this communicates with your smartphone. So you don't even have to be near it. It communicates up to 15, 20 feet with your smartphone, and you're just looking at the image from the endoscope, no matter where you have it on your smartphone. How cool is that? Huh? So anyway, this weekend with all the other stuff that I have to do, including watch grandsons, I am going to make a walk. I've got several walking sticks, and I've got one that I kind of like. I made it out of a paint roller thingy, wall roller thing, but it makes a great walking stick.
And
so
a pokey stick.
I'm gonna put this on the end of it, and I've got a way to attach my phone to it as well, and I'll try it out to make a video and share it with you guys, right? So you can have one too, and the whole thing, wireless, Wi-Fi connector, battery pack, endoscope. It shoots at 720p, which is 1280 by 720, right onto your cell phone via wireless. That was $18.95. So, and that's $18.95, not $1,800. So that's just amazing. So
Coffee.
The
Brit
coffee.
Chaser, he also said you need to sit with coffee alone in a room and think deeply to solve it. Coffee instead of tea. Well, first we had all those different colors of tea and then coffee.
Red, green, and black.
That's right. Interesting.
So yeah, that was a big old rabbit hole there.
Yeah.
All right, so I did get some text messages that we can read while I think we got time for one more call. Hi, Toby and Shelley. Did you watch the show about the new secret find, small value item but rich in history and adventures for all from Luli? Luli, we did not. If you send us a link, we'll take a look at it. I literally have no idea what you're talking about, but we'd happy to take a look at it. So this is from area code 775. He says, whatever happened to Susie?
Oh,
So K-Pro, I don't know. K-Pro, can you update it? Call in and tell us what everybody's asking about Susie, and I don't know why. I feel like I'm missing something here. So this is because I can from Illinois. When I contact Old Santa Fe Trading Company,
and then
Forrest,
Cats and
Illinois.
Dogs sent us a Halloween picture.
Oh, cool. William?
Are we doing that tonight?
No, we'll do that.
We're doing that
We'll do
on
that next
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah. So people go. So send us
So
your
you have time to do
send us your Halloween photos, and we'll
We had one of our members have a Halloween hat on last night, so I had to put my crown back on.
Okay, don't share yet. Okay, and don't share. And hi, Toby and Shelley. I would appreciate it if you didn't read this on the air. Okay, so there's a couple of text messages.
that we can't read.
We can't read on the air. Secrets.
Many secrets.
Okay, I think we have time for one more call. Somebody was trying to reach out. Let me see if I can call them. There's Utah, Pagosa, Charlotte. No, that's it. Las Cruces. I got everybody. Okay. Oh, it is Christy. Okay, so Christy's calling in. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hold on a second.
Oh, you're on the back. Oh, she has this on her computer.
Hold on a second. I'm in the dungeon. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. So
okay, sorry.
Why
Did
is
you put
it
the lotion on?
Did you put the lotion? It must put the lotion.
You're in the dungeon.
So
Yeah, well, I have 3 stories, and the one story doesn't get good Wi-Fi, and I always call Toby from it, or even cell phone, and I always call Toby from it, and then I say, oh, I got to get to the other story. So anyway.
Okay. So why is everybody asking me about Susie?
Well, so Susie did a giveaway little treasure chest, not little by it's little by size, but it had so many wonderful little items and things in it. This was probably 6 months ago, and Alan Kay won it.
Yeah.
And Alan Kay asked me, I don't know, a few months ago, would your son like to have, I know he's a treasure hunter, would he like to have something from it? And this was months ago, and I said, absolutely. And we went through it, and he said, pick an item. Well, he sent the entire treasure chest. His kids picked each an item and then sent the treasure chest, and he put a little note in it as well. And he basically said, why don't we start a tribute to Susie? And if you don't know, Susie's channel's down, and Susie's just, I think, going through what many searchers do. I've taken a step back. She's taken a step back. Everybody does. I know some searchers are much closer to her than I, but I've kept in contact because she's just a wonderful human being.
Mm-hmm.
And so my son made his debut night.
Oh, I saw it. I did see it. I didn't have a context for it, but I did see it.
Yeah. And so we went through everything in it. He picked his item. I told him he could pick 2 items. He picked his item, and I picked, he actually said the second item, I want you to pick something. And so I picked something. And now we are going to give it to Mike. His boys are going to pick something, and then we're going to pass it on to someone else that has little kiddos. We're hoping, like, I don't know, teenagers or below that would be interested in having something and adding something to it. So he went into his treasure hunting collection and added a couple items, and it's kind of like a geocache. You're going to take one, give one kind of thing, and it's our tribute. And so I sent the video to Susie. She was overwhelmed. She's excited. There's some positive to it, but in general, everybody's just asking, they just know that her videos are down. She's just, like we all do, she just needs a little time, but extra love to Susie. And I know I've talked with her a little bit, and she's doing okay. She's just, everybody goes through ups and downs in the chase in life and all of that. And so we love her, and that's all there really is to it. But I think this little treasure box has kind of sparked some things. And if you are one that gets it, look in the keyhole. We didn't even notice until Alan told us, look in the keyhole. You'll know what that means when you see the treasure box.
Well, you know who I'd make it a point to send to, because I think she would just love it, is Shelley just said,
Samantha Ulrich.
Samantha Ulrich, that young lady that comes through with her dad, Brian. They drive all the way from New Jersey, and she is so adorable that I think she would just love something like that.
Oh, okay. I don't know that name, but this will be great, because I actually, after Mike and I, it's kind of like, who else? Just reach out, and then we are thinking about taking the box out of play, because the box is pretty expensive to ship. Right. And then just maybe have a little bag of goodies, because then we can make it much smaller and much lighter.
Right.
And it's kind of so Mike and I are working on that now, but something to just, wouldn't it be cool? And of course, Mike, he loves the coins. And so I can only imagine his. But my son is getting some gems and other things in, so it could just be kind of the tribute of Pay It Forward.
Like a moving geocache thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Take something out, put
Hunt.
something in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I'm looking at her channel now. She's changed the name to Susie Heckin' Liable. She's gone back to her real name. But yeah, you're right. There's no videos on it. So maybe she is pulling back just a little bit.
Yeah, I just think there was a time that I took a step back, and people take step back for different reasons. The only thing that I think everybody needs to know is some people need a time to step back. And here's the other thing. I'm going to go with Mike's quote that I put as the avatar on Thor. Positivity always triumphs over negativity.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Say one random act of kindness changes the world. So I know Susie's done that for me. I send her occasional notes of these sorts of things, but this one was a big one for me this week when Alan said it. This was my son's first video. It was his first time, and he is incredibly shy, and he was just overwhelmed. I will say, as much as there was a lot of positive, there was some negative, and he got to deal with that in the reality of our world. A 10-year-old getting some negative comments, and he was like, okay. And I asked him, this is where you get to decide. Do you want to do another video, or just no, it's not all going to be positive just because you're a cute 10-year-old.
Right. And
he's like, no, I think I want to because I have some things to say about this poem. And I was like, okay, well, there you go. So, and I do delete the negative, but I do also discuss it with him, which I think at 10, he's just about old enough to, if anything really got out of line, it was just more negative in general. And so I think it's a good, a teachable moment for him, which is kind of fun. So, I mean, it's kind of sad, but it's also kind of the reality of what he'll deal with in life.
That's right.
20-60-20, right?
It's not about him. It's about the person who said it.
Exactly.
Well, I'm hoping it's more of a 5-9-90.
Yeah. No. We always, especially when it comes to children, you always hope for that.
You would just hope it wasn't. But it doesn't surprise me, but it makes me realize, it's interesting as much as the chase is really an example of a fifth grader, a sixth grader, a seventh grader. How much does life really change? The percentages change a little, but there's always one.
Right.
And so he kind of looked at, and, he has classes, or he has this, or he has that. And people are going to, make whatever comments. And but he's like, but I'm a treasure hunter. I'm like, exactly.
Exactly.
So it's fun.
He's been in the mountains looking for treasure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for calling in and filling us in because, like I said, there were several comments in the room. We got a text message, and I just hadn't, I know she had kind of a meltdown about a month ago, and I hadn't followed up on it. So I knew if there was anybody that knew what was going on, it would be you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and again, everybody say a prayer, everybody have a smile, and everybody think of, hey, everybody, how are you in YouTube land? I mean, that's what I think about when I think about Susie. She's wonderful on all levels.
Every time I watched her, it was, of course, you can't see her, but when I did watch her, it always brought a smile to my face just to hear how happy she was about things. So it was difficult actually to hear that she was going through difficult times. You just don't want difficult times to hit people like that,
Yeah, exactly.
It's one thing when difficult times happen to Toby Younis. Because we all hope that.
No, I don't agree with that. But I know what you're saying in general.
But I can take it, right? You don't want the bad things to happen to good people,
Yes, yes, I agree.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll get to talk to you again soon. We look forward to that opportunity. And whatever you do over the weekend, do it safely and carefully.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Have a good night.
We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
All right, that's probably it for tonight.
That's probably it. Phone lines are off. Shelley's got to go home.
Spend some time with the husband.
And I've got to get my two grandsons straightened out for the weekend here because they're already probably unpacked their computer stuff. Daryl said that he had fed them beforehand. Okay. So I still got to I don't have teenager food in my house. You know,
Yeah, we ate all the good stuff.
They eat
all
gallons,
the salad and all
gallons of milk and boxes of cereal all in one weekend. So,
oh boy.
So
Good thing,
one last
Walmart's
pitch.
close by.
Hang on. Hold on.
So Britt Chaser and Michael Hool need their own little membership.
They do.
Yeah, I think they do.
Okay, so Britt Chaser and Michael Hool. Michael, I know you're going to get me some from Australia. So one last pitch for the World Sand Project. Thank you. So, wow, we have 20 subscribers now, guys. Be on the bottom floor of this growing channel. And tomorrow, like I said,
the content does.
get the channel before I actually get the content up. So, like I said, tomorrow I will put up a video explaining what you do to send us a sand. Our plan is to take one of those packages that you send us each week, look at it under the microscope, compare it to other. We have some baselines in the form of Arroyo sand, and we're going to get some white sand from a friend.
Hooley wants to know if you're doing Toby at 10.
Good question. I'm kind of beat today.
Maybe do it for an hour.
And I got the boys to think about.
That's true.
But I kind of promised them that I'd do it tonight. I will try to get on at 10. I've just had a really long day, and my boys, my grandkids are here. They're going to spend the weekend with me while their mom and dad.
Michael, yeah, just let's talk about that because I think that would be awesome.
One of your VIP walk shrooms to us. Oh, yeah, no, that's a great idea. Okay, so World Sand Project, please subscribe and keep an eye out this weekend for the video on how to handle you sending us some sand so that we can analyze and use it as a basis for the furthering the conversation. And remember, there is a really good playlist on there. If you go to the playlist called The World Shortage of Sand, there are several videos on there made by several different organizations explaining what I'm talking about and why it's so interesting to me.
And for those of you who aren't aware and we're wondering what the heck we're talking about with a VIP membership, we have a membership that is available to everybody at gypsyskiss.com. It's something that you can join. What we're doing is studying the book. We do a new chapter every night. This coming Tuesday, we're going to do a recap, a summary of everything we studied in October to start off November with everybody all on the same page. And so we're going to play a little catch up on Tuesday. So now would be an excellent time to join if you haven't already. It's $25 a month. We're studying the book. You get additional videos. You get additional content and articles and all this sort of thing. And we will soon be adding in more perks that our members have requested. So look forward to that. And it sounds like we're going to have a night with Michael Hool coming up. Maybe.
Oh, that would be fun.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be
so
great.
we'll see if we can work that out, dealing with his work schedule and travel schedule.
So Blue Fox says, yes, Toby, take the night off and enjoy your grandchildren. We can just go read Forrest scrapbooks and beat our heads with sticks. Read that 223 because he mentions it isn't the whole story isn't about the Grand Sand Dunes National Monument, but the Hoosier sisters thought it was curious that we form a new channel called the World Sand Project, and there's a new scrapbook that contains information about the Great Sand Dunes National Monument. So we would like to get some sand. If you're up there, see if you can see me. You're not supposed to take sand, and I'm not advising that you do. But if you happen to get some stuck in your shoes maybe, put it in a little plastic bag and send it to us because apparently the problem with this whole sand issue is that you can't use that refined sand like that. That doesn't work with concrete. So, and we're going to be talking about more of these. I'm just in the midst of a 53-page United Nations report on the problem, so I'll have more information on next Wednesday.
And you'll be doing interviews with experts too.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I've already arranged some interviews with some of the experts in this particular field. So, all right.
All right. Well, let's close it out.
And
Thanks everybody for being here tonight, for all your great questions, comments, super chat, and friendly chatter in the chat room and all your phone calls. And for Gypsy's Kiss, the Friday Fenndango version, I am the magical treasure princess, Shelley Carney.
Along with the Magical Treasure Princess, I'm Toby Younis, and we want to thank you for joining us in the room tonight. We hope you had as much fun as we did. I can tell you that we had a great time. And don't forget, if you want a chance at winning the Yellowstone map and the Yellowstone commemorative coin, Yellowstone National Park commemorative coin, make sure you go to last Wednesday's show, make a comment, and next Wednesday we'll draw a winner from the comments in that show. But again, thank you for joining us tonight. We really like having you around. You make this 2 hours go by so fast. It's just amazing. So thanks again. You guys enjoy your weekend. We'll see you next week.